Welcome to the show, and here are your hosts, the diabolical Elite Gaming Guru, the illustrious RedDeadPanda, and the Australian stud Ashtrey Gaming. So let's get this party started. Shit.
But it's probably
We are
live.
live.
Greetings and salutations.
Hello. Well,
How are we? Good morning, Red.
Good morning, Ashtrey. And good morning, Elite. Oh, wait, you're not here.
In it, sorted, governor. What you call it, yeah?
Shazwazza.
Shazwasher. Ashtray's the best.
Yeah.
That's what you get, Elite, for not turning up on time.
Actually, we're not sure if you're meant to be here or not. We've both had busy weeks, so we have no idea. But for those who are listening, welcome to the Gamers Initiative podcast. This is episode 81, and with myself and Ashtrey Gaming here, and maybe Elite might turn up, but can't remember. If not, then what is he away for? What horrible thing is he getting done today, Ashtrey?
That is a great question. He said he's getting multiple things done, so it'll be interesting to see. But I think that he was going to get his lip pierced and then a chain running from his lip to his Johnson.
Oh, his Johnson & Johnson.
Yeah. Then he can play himself like a harp.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just so his wife can take him around places and he doesn't get lost.
His wife or his minder?
Minder.
His parole officer.
Oh, sakes. Welcome, everybody, to those who are watching with us live. It's going to be another, hopefully, good episode with just Ashtrey and I trash talking Elite the whole time. Hi, Boba Fett Gaming and Infinite Umbra and Grey Monad and everyone else who's going to start coming in slowly as we start off the show. Yeah.
Indeed. Boba says heard he's in jail for getting up on TGA stage yesterday.
Oh, I didn't know Elite could do a French accent.
All he has to say is like croissant and Eiffel Tower, and there you go. He's done. He's good to go.
And the last and best Rabbi Bill Clinton.
What a random thing to say. Like,
Has anyone seen though on we'll talk about it later, but has anyone seen the video on Twitter for Elden Ring, and someone's already got a Bill Clinton skin for Elden Ring? If you haven't seen it, it's quite entertaining. I just had a giggle. Obviously, Bill Clinton dies in the end. That's the reality of Elden Ring, but yeah. All right.
Far out,
what
man.
have you been up to this week, Ashtrey?
Actually, well, this week I've been busy. I've had to do, it's leading up to Christmas. You got to do bloody stuff for work and dinners and stuff like that. So I've been doing that. I've been pretty tired with all that kind of stuff. So I haven't been gaming too much. But when I have been gaming, I've actually been on my PS4. Yes, you heard it right. PS4. There's proof. You can check it out. Ashtrey Gaming on PSN. I've been playing Horizon Forbidden West. The game that everyone seems to hate. It's okay. It's pretty much just a copy and paste of the first game, which was good for its time in 2018. But being that it's like 4 years later, it's kind of a bit
Meh.
sort of old school.
Mid?
So yeah, like it. I don't know.
It hasn't really.
I'm just playing it
iterated
on it.
enough.
Nah, it hasn't. It hasn't at all, really. So I mean, at the end of the day, the combat's exactly the same. It hasn't improved.
Really?
So that kind of sucks. Yeah, I mean, you
assume
would
it
think
would.
that you would try and
But you're
improve
not
it.
playing it with the haptic triggers, so it has improved, but you can't tell that.
Yeah, exactly. So, played a tiny bit of Fortnite the other day, but not much
Did you play
because I
with
was
the
working
new-
from home.
With the new update.
Yeah. I played a few rounds
What
of
did you
that.
think? How does it look? I haven't
It looks really good.
updated
Yeah,
mine yet.
and well, they've changed the whole island as well, so it's completely different.
Yes. I didn't
So
need to
it's-
jump on and play with you guys.
Yes, you do, because it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's got a lot of different guns and features and things like that. So that's cool. What have you been up to?
The Witcher 3. also had a busy week, but I just finished training my last induction for the year, so I've actually had a little bit more time where I haven't had to go into the office as much, and so it meant that I've been jumping on after work to play The Witcher 3. Before the patch, I know, but it's really so I can definitely notice the difference between quality mode and the 60 FPS mode, because there is both a quality mode and the 60 FPS mode for the Xbox One X version on the Series X. But I really just want to see what it's like. And to be honest, I never actually finished it the first time anyway. This is my third attempt playing the game. Reason being is I had to start again when I bought the Game of the Year edition, because there were the standard version and the Game of the Year edition, the saves weren't compatible with each other, and I was real pissed off.
Okay. Yeah. Is that why they're touting that as a feature now, cross saves?
I think so.
With the new update.
I think so. I think that's a big thing. And so I'm looking forward to that on the 14th. That coming out. I played some Halo with Jedi and
Knight Peter,
KJ, and Jedi Knight Peter, KJ. C-Steph, and oh my god, a whole heap of other people. I can't even remember, but we were playing that. Hargeet, we're playing with Hargeet, and Boba, and I think Dealer were in there playing. What was it? 2K, whatever. I don't know.
God,
they were playing
that,
all they heard me just trash talking Jedi Knight Peter the whole time. But yeah, got in there playing that with the custom browser. Was actually quite good. There's only 6 pages at the moment, but some of the levels are really cool. There's this really cool one which is this light and dark stage, and so you are running around and you can transition the stage between a light and dark mode, and when you go to light, everyone who's in the dark disappears, and you're in the light, and you can kind of be running away from someone and then change to switch over to the other color, and then they disappear unless they choose to switch with you. I get owned on that. I can't, that stage just doesn't compute well with me. It's fun, but I kind of suck at it. I think I need to really actually play that for a little bit and get good. Yeah, that's me admitting I need to get good, guys.
Wow.
Owning on that stage. But yeah, it was good. There was this cool SpongeBob stage that we were playing, in the Krusty Krab, and then we were also playing this piratey type ship one. There were 2 ships, and that was really fun as well. And yeah, it was a lot of fun, the different modes. And then we were playing what is it? The dugout or something. And you've got all these different holes, and everyone's in these little dugouts, and they just jump up, and you're sniping each other, up and down very quickly. And that was so much fun. Yeah, so much fun. If you were in the center, you just died, and you had to be on the outside holes to kind of survive. It was so much fun. That Krusty Krab map is hilarious. Yes, I agree. Infinite Umbra is hilarious. And C-Steph, as usual, was finding places to camp. Not surprising. Not surprising.
I've heard about that.
Yeah. But yeah, that's been my week. I don't think I've played anything else.
You must have played some Vampire Survivors, which we've got on screen currently.
I haven't actually touched that since I started The Witcher 3. And it's because The Witcher 3 is once you get into that, it's one of those games where you're next mission or next quest, just one more, and I'm just oh, it's 4 a.m. Oh, my bad. Yeah. But I do need to go back and finish Vampire Survivors. I think this is the stage I get up to level 100 for the first time. And it was really, really cool. I don't think it's this character. I think it's my next character where I completely own it.
Indeed. It's an addictive game. I've put it down for a little while now. I've unlocked quite a lot of it. Got I don't know, at least half of the achievements. But yeah, just slowly going through it. But I put it down for a while. Thought I'd jump on Forbidden West to finally finish that game off. I think I'm still only halfway through it.
Oh shit, Fizz.
Yeah. So it feels that way anyway. Maybe I'm further through it, but yeah, I just want to. I mean, I need an RPG right now, so I'm screw it. I'm just going to jump on Forbidden West and play through it.
Yeah.
Just need that third-person action-adventure game that I've been dying for. Actually, I still need to jump into Valhalla and get that because they've updated that a couple of weeks ago now. I still haven't jumped into that yet, but
I have to finish that game.
I'll do that too. So
yeah, I forgot.
I've completed everything, but they had an update which sort of tied a couple of storylines off or something. So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, I don't think we're going to see Elite
Nah.
today. So, because usually he's not this late.
Probably
So,
waiting for that piercing to heal. That sounds painful.
well, when you get it done by like a homeless guy, you're going to be prepared to have
Sure, it's not
some kind of
infected?
infection.
You might need an amputation later, right?
I don't think there's much to cut off. Anyway, I think we should probably get into our first topic. What do you reckon?
I think we should too. So, if you're not aware, Nintendo has actually surpassed the lifetime sales of the PS4 in the United States. They're still trailing overall sales because the PS4 is at 117 and the Nintendo Switch is 107. But in the USA, they've officially surpassed PS4 lifetime sales specifically in that market. What are your thoughts about this, Ashtrey?
Yeah, well, this is pretty reminiscent of when the Wii came out, right? That sold gangbusters as well, and that ended up doing the same thing. I think it surpassed the PS3, or was it the PS2 sales? Can't remember, but either way, it surpassed the sales of one of the PlayStation consoles. We all know the Xbox consoles constantly get outsold, but we don't care. We like the brand. Anyway, yeah, so it's pretty reminiscent of that. The Switch, when it first sort of came out and they were talking about a hybrid handheld console thing, I was thinking of something completely different to sort of what they've got. And then when I saw it and they started advertising, I thought, I don't know if this is going to do very well. But I picked one up myself, like millions of other people have, and we enjoy it, especially when I travel. I like to play it when I'm, sitting at the airport waiting, because I don't want to drain my battery life on my phone.
Yeah.
That's more important. You need to have your phone for whatever else, internet and making calls, obviously. So the Switch has been really good for that kind of thing for me. And it helps pass the time, especially at airports. But yeah, you said that it was at 107 million and the PS4 is at 117 million. So it will end up surpassing the PS4 in total sales, I believe anyway. And just in time, because there's got to be a Switch 2.0 or whatever next console for Nintendo to come out around the corner in the next couple of years. So... It should be interesting. But look, yeah, we all know that the US market's sort of the biggest market for video games, and so that's a good sign for that. But like I said, reminiscent of the Wii.
Yeah, the Nintendo Switch just is a massive success, and it's just killing it. I was a day one adopter, and I got it for the... obviously Breath of the Wild. I'm a massive Zelda fan, if you guys aren't aware of that. Like, that's my bread and butter. That's how I grew up. And so, like, people were buying, like, Zelda and they didn't even have a Switch. Like, that game sold more than the actual consoles that were available. Eventually caught up, but, like, I definitely agree with you. It's going to... I think... What do you reckon? I reckon at least 125. At least. 125 million units, at least.
I would probably agree with that, depending on when they decide to
transition over
stop.
to the next.
Yeah, because like I think they're still making PS4s, aren't they? Or did they just stop recently?
I think they announced. Oh no, because they were announcing stopping and they said no, we're reselling them again.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I still don't think that the PS4 is going to ever stay onto that number 2 slot. Because like, what is it? The only one it's the PS2's the top selling console of all time, right? Yeah, I don't think it's ever going to get anywhere near that. And then like the Wii itself, I can't remember how many consoles that sold in total, but that was ridiculous as well.
I think that was around 120 ish.
Maybe.
I'll do a quick search and see what it comes up with.
No, I think the PS4 holds number 2 slot globally for sales, so I think it might have just been shy of that. Actually, don't quote me on that though, guys, but we're going to find out. Yeah.
So that roughly PS2 is apparently around 155 million.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
We won't include handhelds right now. I know the Switch is technically handheld. PS4 117.2. Switch, they've updated this to say 114. I don't know. Interesting. and the Wii, according to this, was 101 million.
101. Yeah, it was ridiculous. So I just knew it. I didn't think it'd pass it because it keeps saying that PS4 was number 2. So yeah, I definitely think the Switch is going to pass that PS4. 100%. I don't know if it's ever going to get up to the PS2 sales. The PS2 was just ridiculous. And that was because like it was a cheap way to have a DVD player in your house, and you didn't need a DVD player. Because I remember at the time DVD players were frickin' expensive.
Yep, absolutely. It was the cheapest entry point you could get. So,
Yep.
but I think it's going to be the PS2 might not even get surpassed ever. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
it's just that's a big number for console sales.
Yeah.
So I doubt it will. But hey, that's all good.
Next in line, what is our lovely next topic? If you guys have been living under a rock, which you guys haven't been, Xbox signed a 10-year deal with both Steam and also with Nintendo for COD on those platforms. So, like, Nintendo's never had COD, and Steam, yep. Is this a good sign? Because we're still waiting to hear if PlayStation is going to, I guess, agree to their 10-year deal that's been offered to them or not. What are your thoughts on this? It's been actually quite interesting to look at what's been happening on Twitter in this respect, because a lot of these posts were put up by Phil Spencer himself.
Yeah, look, I think it's a power play. It's a strategic move to offer it to Nintendo. Not that they wouldn't. I mean, they've got a pretty good relationship and always have, really, with Nintendo. But I think that it's just a way to sort of say, well, no, we're not holding it back from gamers because we're even going to release it on Nintendo. Because we already know it's going to be on PC, PlayStation if they want it. And also we know that there's a lot of Switches sold, so there's a good chance that will actually reach as many, if not more players, putting it over to Nintendo. So it's showing, hey, we're open to allowing it to be multi-platform and remain that way. However, it's got to be a 10-year deal because there's no such thing as an infinite deal, a deal that doesn't end, because that would just be ridiculous because things change, right? So, and then to see good old Gabe Newell, to say that, we're happy with the 10-year deal, that even Xbox sent us a draft copy, which wasn't even necessary because we trust them. I mean, come on, like that speaks volumes right there.
Yeah.
And that, again, a strategic response, and that's for not only the FTC, CMA, and all that kind of stuff. It's for the general public to see. Well, Gabe Newell's huge in the PC game in Steam, and he trusts what they're saying and what they're doing, and he believes that they will commit to that 10-year deal. And I'm like I've said before, the 10-year deal will most likely be, all right, well, a 10-year plus, a rollover of so many years or whatever it might be. It could be 10 by 3 or something. Who knows? But
what are your thoughts about what Sony has said in response to this deal, especially in response to Nintendo getting a 10-year deal, a 10-year commitment to bring Call of Duty to Nintendo? Because they've basically said it's a nothing burger. Yeah,
of course they will, because they don't want it to seem like it's a big deal, but it is. And to say that it's the Nintendo's a children's console or whatever, doesn't, correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't it have Witcher 3 on it? Doesn't it have Doom on it?
Well, if you have had a look at what actually came out, it's not just children owning it. The age group is from like people from like 10 to like
40,
mid-20s and 40s and stuff, and because like the people who grew up playing Nintendo for like Mario and for oh my god, Zelda, why is my brain blanking on the word Zelda? They're all adults now, so they're all still buying this platform because of those exclusive titles that only Nintendo releases. It's not just for children. And then they were saying like it's laughable that, well, I don't say they think laughable, but basically, this is me ad-libbing, laughable around the Call of Duty even being able to run on a Nintendo system. They don't even think it would be able to do that, so it thinks it's pointless of Xbox announcing this 10-year commitment to bring Call of Duty to Nintendo. And I think there are plenty of examples of games that we all thought shouldn't run on a Nintendo Switch that have been ported and actually run, like The Witcher 3. You've got Doom games on there, and they do have a good group of people or good developers who actually do porting of games onto the Nintendo Switch. And if you look at those Digital Foundry ones, they're even surprised that they're running on this console. But there are a lot of concessions that have to be made in order to get those games to run. And if they're making that 10-year commitment, and you know that Nintendo and Xbox has a pretty good working relationship around that, they're going to make it happen, and they're going to work together for it. And I think it's just nice to kind of show, hey, we were really serious about saying that we wanted this game on PlayStation, and we weren't planning on taking it away. By also saying, not only are we wanting it on PlayStation, we're wanting it to put it on Nintendo, and we're wanting it to stay in Steam, and we're wanting it to go everywhere that you can choose to play this game, because it's massive. It's like Minecraft massive around how many people could potentially be playing this franchise, essentially. And it just seems stupid to turn around and go, oh, 10 years? Nah, we're not gonna accept that. They extended out from a 3-year deal. You're just sad that your profits are going to go there, and they just keep putting their heels in, hoping like hell that this is enough to kind of prevent this deal happening. I just think that at the end of the day, if it doesn't go ahead, you're going to see a mass exodus out of ABK, of developers, because they don't want to work under Bobby Kotick.
No, well, Kotick's not going to remain there, but I think that Sony's kicking up a huge stink because, like you said, the revenue that they're making out of it, the profits as well. But that's funding their other games as well. And so this is their bread and butter. It will affect them greatly. But to not want to try and take it and try and block it, that's arrogance, as well as, we're Sony. So, we're going to block it. We're not going to take your deal because it's not good enough for us. So we're going to try and block it. And I honestly hope that turns around and bites them in the ass, because although they got the FTC in their pocket, it's going to court now, which we'll talk about later, I guess. And it's not going to work out for them. I really don't think it will, because there's too many eyes on this, and there's people correcting their mistakes as well. So
Sony also coming out and saying, like, developing a version of the game that's compatible for Nintendo is going to take years, so making the 10-year licensing deal meaningless.
What's Fortnite? Fortnite does the same thing, right? It runs on the Series X at 4K 60 or whatever it is. It runs on older consoles, and it runs on the Switch. Yes, the graphics and the fidelity and I think it might only be 30, if that, on the Switch, but it still runs, it still plays, so it's a different version. So if that can happen, this can happen.
If they're offering it to Nintendo, that could be taking away from sales on the PlayStation, right? And
Absolutely.
So that is also competition right then and there. And that is keeping competition healthy and making sure that Sony isn't the only one who has the monopoly on COD sales. I'm doing that with air quotes, guys. But, like, to say that it's going to make the 10-year licensing deal meaningless, like, in saying that, Sony, you're going to take how many years to get all your games as a service up and running so you can, like, money hat your consumers up the wazoo? Like, it just makes it's funny that you're pointing out how long it's going to take for them. There are developers already on Nintendo's side that are dedicated for doing ports. I don't even think it would be that difficult to downscale a game, because it's all about scaling of the engine, right? And they could make a dedicated version for the Nintendo Switch, or they could make a version that is downscaled and you can just play cross-platform with each other. So you could be playing with someone on the Nintendo, you could be playing with someone on the Xbox, playing with someone on the PC, obviously, or the PlayStation. It doesn't matter. Or you could be playing someone on cloud if they've got the Game Pass app, maybe that's on Samsung. Yeah, who knows? But like anything that you can kind of downplay positivity and like just kind of put a negative spin on more gamers having an opportunity to play this franchise just seems pointless, and you seem real petty at this point, Sony.
Yeah, exactly. But, like I said, Xbox will assist Nintendo for it to run on there. They'll do whatever they need to do to help it run on that console. So, and I've also seen some tweets, which I agree with. even if it does take a couple of years or whatever to get it running on a Nintendo, there could be a new console come out, so a Switch 2 or whatever, and that's more powerful, and then that's the one they launch it on, and not worry about this one. So there's options. It doesn't mean just because they've announced the deal, it starts tomorrow either, right?
It doesn't mean
well,
it's
once the deal's done, it could
just Nintendo
take
Switch.
some time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and Xbox will probably help, in whatever way they can, whether it's cloud using the Azure servers or whatever, just to take that that power hit off the console itself and to help stream things in. Who knows?
Wait till we hear Xbox is putting Elder Scrolls 6 on Nintendo Switch. Not saying that's going to happen, but that would make my day.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I would never stop laughing if that actually happened. And it doesn't come to PlayStation, but it comes to Nintendo. Oh, sorry, I'm just being savage right now, but that just would make me laugh to no end, to go F you PlayStation for being assholes the whole time. Because that's what they are. They're just doing anything that they can do to stop the steal.
Yeah, I don't think it's working out too well for them, though.
I don't think it is either. Yeah. But in saying this, did you see that Microsoft has comparing Sony to Blockbuster and the latest stuff that's been coming in regarding the ABK deal? Did you see this? It's actually made me giggle.
Yeah, if you go to my my Twitter page, my banner is now that PlayStation Blockbuster picture. So so it looks like the Blockbuster sign, but it says PlayStation. That's what I've got on my header on my page. But I look, he's calling them out, right? Because they don't want to innovate. They think they're, the top of the top that can't be removed, and that was the same arrogance that Blockbuster had. If I remember correctly, the guys at Netflix, when they were building that platform up, actually had a sit-down meeting with the bosses of Blockbuster at the time and said, we want to sell to you guys, and they're like, we're not going to buy you. Get lost, basically. Yep. And then a few years later, Blockbuster started closing down stores. So that arrogance comes around, bites you in the butt, and it makes you look like a fool. And Sony, it's going to happen to Sony. The same sort of thing's happening. The writing's on the wall. They don't have anything bar a few franchises that cost a lot of money to make. Once COD goes, if they don't accept the deal, I mean, they'll still lose revenue on it because most of it will be going to Xbox anyway. But even if they don't, whether they take the deal or not, they're going to have less money to fund their first-party games, which means they won't have the time to put into those games like they were. Because you can stretch it out, obviously, 6 years, 7 years, whatever. They're going to have to probably bring that back in because of budgets and say, no, well, the maximum you got is 4 or 5 years on a game and less budget. So it's going to affect them, and they know it, and that's why they're fighting tooth and nail to block this. But to call out and say that they're like PlayStation, it's good. It's about time people at Xbox and Microsoft start actually playing the game and pushing and saying exactly what, we all know. We've all said it ourselves, but Xbox has always been kumbaya.
Yep. And
it's about time they've taken the gloves off. I want them to go harsher, but they've got to. They're new at this.
Wasn't Brad Smith he made that real shady, that throwing shade comment about PlayStation no answer on their 10-year deal? Wasn't he the guy doing that as well?
Yes.
But yeah, I agree. I think it's interesting that they're doing that comparison around Blockbuster going to Netflix and the rise of Netflix and Blockbuster thinking, oh, nothing's ever going to change, they're still going to be here. You've got to remember the industry changes, and for Sony to turn around and go cloud gaming is not where it's at, it's going to really negatively impact the industry. It's no, it's going to negatively impact you because you guys are like dinosaurs and you haven't yet realized that you need to move forward, especially around releasing games day and date into your subscription service. It's not going to hurt you. You're going to get a lot more people using that service. You're going to get a lot more people subscribing to that service as well on top of that. And you're going to get a lot more consoles sold as a result because you still don't yet have an app on your TVs yet, and I think an app is coming eventually for the PlayStation Plus, but who knows what that's going to look like later down the line. But it's just interesting to see that They don't want this innovation happening. They don't want the way they've been playing within the industry at the moment to change. They want to stay at the top of their game, around there. Like, it just makes me giggle that PlayStation is doing what they're doing, and yeah, I'm just laughing. Like, Xbox are trying to obviously move with the times and the writings on the wall, and they're trying to make sure that obviously if you've got the subscription model, cloud gaming model that they're running, you're going to need the content in and out like Netflix does, like Disney Plus has with the Stars, and like Amazon Prime creating their own stuff, and even Paramount Plus and HBO Max, and all of these guys are coming in with their own original content, Hulu, all vying for your attention and your time. And even if it's just we're getting a subscription each month for every single one of this, that's still money lining their pockets if you manage to subscribe to more than one subscription service. If you're not using it, it's still money in their pocket every month. And that's the same thing with what can happen here is you could subscribe to both, and you might not need to own both consoles, which is an idea for that if you don't really have room, or it's easier to take your TV with you, or just log in somewhere that gives access to it and you can just play the games where you choose to play them. But they're still stuck in the past, and they're still trying to run this gambit of this fine wire of like physical game sales and all of this stuff, and it's just you guys are getting left behind because you're so focused on how it has been and how you want it to stay to how it is going to be in the future. Technology changes, and you need to move with the times. Blockbuster is gone. I'm not saying PlayStation's not going anywhere, and PlayStation is saying that they feel like Xbox is trying to turn them into Nintendo in that way.
I hope they're turning them into Sega. And I don't care what, even a lot of pro Xbox guys are like, nah, we want competition. Nah, I say screw that. Put them in the ground, or push them into being a third-party provider, and hopefully someone else buys them out. They deserve the worst they can get, in all seriousness. I don't care. I really don't at this point. They're dirty. They don't give a shit about anyone. They don't even give a shit about their own consumers. Yep. So, screw them. Put them down. There you go. Get rid of them, or just push them back.
Hot take from Ashtrey.
Right far back. I don't care.
Hello, fuck you. Great to see you in the chat. What happened to the fraud? He's got a piercing that goes from his lip to his Johnson & Johnson, and it's probably infected. He's probably going to have to get an amputation. That's why he's not here. I said that with a straight face, and Ashray's just giggling in the background.
It's because it's just funny and probably true.
Yeah. No, he's not here. I can't remember if he's not meant to be here or if he's forgotten what time the show is. It is Elite, and it's Friday night. And maybe it's his work thing. Maybe he's got his work thing on. Who knows? It's that time of the year where, a lot of drinking happens. But it's great to see you here. Are we ready for the next topic?
Yeah, almost. Before we do, just like and share this out, guys. It's on RedDeadPanda's channel instead of Elite. So just try and remind people out there on Twitter, etc., that it is over here at the moment. Elite's laptop has AIDS and it doesn't work properly, so Red's been kind enough to run it through her channel and on her stuff. So we are the Gamers Initiative podcast with just myself and RedDeadPanda. Elite is probably in an alleyway somewhere, and you are looking at some Vampire Survivors footage. What is the next topic, Red?
We're talking about the lovely topic of Microsoft charging $70 for all next-gen games starting from 2023. So there's been a $10 price increase for the US market. Don't know what it's going to equate to us over in Australia and New Zealand. I'm not looking forward to that. And there's been a lot of talk around Xbox gamers sort of coming into the defense of this and sort of downplaying it because of Game Pass being a thing. And I think Game Pass is an option around that. But what are your thoughts on this? Do you care? Do you think Xbox is kind of doing the wrong thing, considering all those next-gen games that are coming out are only coming out in like 2023, and we haven't had a whole heap of releases this year, so we're kind of automatically being forced to pay the higher price? What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, look, I'm not happy about it, and if you're happy about it, then there's something wrong with you. But
You're not wrong.
It feels like another strategic move. Exactly how it's going to pan out with this deal, and why this particular timing, I don't know yet. I haven't figured that out. Um, there's some theories going around that they are saying this, and then will say, oh no, when they get scrutinized by the FTC or whatever, oh no, well, you know what, we'll leave it at 60 to show good faith. Could be something like that, a bit of a bait and switch. It's hard to say. No one should like a price rise regardless of platform or product or service. But in saying that as well, though, they're saying that it's for next year on first party games. Now I'm pretty sure that the games that are coming out of Vowed, Redfall at least, Starfield, and
Forza
Motorsport, they're all being built for next gen. So there's no last gen, previous gen version of those games.
Yeah.
They're all going to be on either UE5 or whatever the next iteration of their current
stuff.
Yeah, right. So you're actually, and I'm not condoning price rises because I don't believe in them as well, but they're actually doing them on next gen or current gen games.
So are we getting charged then a upgrade fee in the main price then as a result, and they're just subtly charging us an upgrade fee? I mean, PlayStation did $70 games and then charged you an upgrade fee on top of that, but
Well, that's the thing. So that charging 70 for cross-gen games.
Yeah, that's true. And
whereas these won't be cross-gen.
Yeah, that's true.
Look, either way, it's BS, and we all know that they're making profits hand over fist and don't need to do it. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if they're just trying to bring themselves up to be in line with the market, and they're like, well, look, we've waited 2 years, get over it, kind of thing. Or if it's again a strategic move, it's hard to say. But no one should accept price rises. But hey, what can you do? What do you think, Red? Because for you and me, what that equates, I mean, over here at the moment, it's $120 for a game.
Right now, the standard $60 price version of games is $109.
So it's 100 here.
And so it'll be like 120 something, like almost $130, I think, for us, if it goes up to that from memory, or $119 or something like that. It's going to be something like that. Again, I'm not going to buy a game day one unless unless it's worth it to me. Like, I buy the Zelda games day one because I'm obsessed with Zelda. If it was Mass Effect, you are buying that day one. I don't care. Like, it's Mass Effect. But I guess for me, what lessens the blow and makes me less angry about this, and I am pissed off about this price increase, I definitely am pissed off, and I'll talk about why, is the fact that there is Game Pass, and it means that I can go and play those games and then maybe wait to go buy those games later on when they come down in price. I guess the biggest thing here is, in New Zealand, if you're not aware of this, and is physical sales of games and digital sales of games. Digital sales of games aren't allowed to go on a discount until about 6 months after they've come out, because they don't want that to take away from physical sales of the games being bought in person in this country. So to kind of undercut those companies that are selling these games physically. And so you're kind of stuck where you're not really getting a benefit of buying a game digitally in New Zealand until 6 months later, when you can actually see them start cutting the price online, which is really frustrating. It's slightly different. You still get the discount on through the Game Pass store of 10 or 20%, but if you try and buy it through the Microsoft store, you're not going to get in New Zealand. You're not going to get the sort of price cut that you would normally see in 4 or 5 months time until it hits that 6 months mark, and it's real frustrating in that regard. So you're better to go buy a physical copy of a game, unless it's a Nintendo game, because they never come down in price, than you are to go and buy a game digitally. So over here, it's better to go buy to have access to those first party titles through Game Pass, and that's where I'm coming from around why it's not that big a deal here, because of the fact that digital sales are not coming down in price for at least 6 months. And so you're better to go through Game Pass and play those games day one. However, that's this market. For everyone else, it's shit. It is shit that they're doing this. And I think it's, unless you can guarantee that you are going to make sure that these games are legit polished when they release, because if they're not polished, you shouldn't be charging $70 for a next-gen only first-party title. You should be charging $60, because if that game is buggy, why are you charging an additional $10 for it? And that's the big thing. It's like, if they can guarantee that it's not going to be crap, because I'm sick of games that release and then they're like, oh, we'll just fix it later. It's like, no, you're charging a premium price. You're putting the price up, and now you're expecting us to pay that price while you still continue to fix the game.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bigger F you to the consumer. Yep. Like, if you're going to do it, just charge $60. We're happy with a buggy mess at $60 or $109, or I'll get it at $99 usually. I'll buy a physical copy and get it at $99 because I look for the deals. But it's like, it just annoys me, and I'm also kind of annoyed at the fact that, yes, it's next gen only, yes, it's first party titles, these games are 2023, starting from 2023, but like Starfield, I'm glad it was delayed, but because it was delayed, it's not our fault as consumers that it was delayed. Please come out and say that game is not going to be the $70 price. That is not our fault, and that is not fair to pass it on to the consumer.
That's exactly right. I mean, look at Callisto Protocol. They released that at full price. They release ray tracing features, etc., on the PlayStation, and then a week later, they drop a patch. Yeah. And now the Xbox version is going to have the ray tracing. So, to me, either one, they should have held the game off a week and launched it with all of it, or two, stop making PlayStation look better than Xbox on launch, and then holding back a patch to then a week later after, it's all been through the media and stuff like that. So that's some dodgy shit that's going on there. But so, should Xbox players be buying the game full price? No, you're clearly holding back a 12 gig patch for ray tracing and other features that you now just drop all of a sudden. So they clearly didn't release a fully fledged game on purpose. So why should we pay full price?
Boba's saying it's hoping it would happen late 2023. Fingers crossed it's late 2023, but we haven't really heard anything about. They haven't actually given us a lot of details, and I just want them to give us a little bit of details around this. And that, like, the Callisto Protocol, yep, I agree. And there were like 150 devs that like Sony helped with the developers. Like, there was an article about that, I think, as well.
Yep, 150 developers helped fix the game or whatever. But in regards to the price rise, I don't know if it'll happen late. Yeah, we all did, I guess, but when, we weren't sure. I don't know.
Second half of the generation. I was hoping at least 4 years into the generation.
Oh, yeah, well, if it's going to be next year, it'll be interesting to see whether it's, because Microsoft will work off financial year, so I reckon they'll probably do it before June 30.
Oh, yeah.
That's my guess anyway. So if they push it out as far as they can, it'll be sometime in June probably.
I mean, as long as those games
as a guess
that are coming out first half of the year are still at the standard price, then I think that's a little bit of an easier pill to swallow for us.
I don't think so though. I reckon when they drop Redfall, it'll be 70 US.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be playing it on Game Pass,
and that's March.
Because like over in here, like I said, it's not worth buying a game for day one digitally, and I'm overbuying physical copies because I always buy a digital copy and then I game share. That's how I do it, and that's what I do with my Game Pass titles as well. I game share. I only buy one subscription and I share it with my sister, and that's my preferred option for it. So I will be playing those day one. It does make it easier to swallow because of Game Pass, but yeah, I don't know.
Indeed. Game Pass for the win.
I'm just pissed off about it in general because like the way they kind of talked about how they weren't increasing console prices at this point, and I don't think they're going to increase them at any juncture. I really don't think that consoles are going up in price for Xbox. Is because of the the economic market and what's happening in the economy worldwide, and I feel like this is a bit of a complete like contradiction to what they said previously, and now they're putting the prices up, and it just feels a bit odd that that's happening. And saying that, I'm still an Xbox fan through and through, and I'm going to be playing these games day one through Game Pass, and that's I guess it's the fact that there is an option where you don't necessarily have to buy a $70 game. You can just go and pay a subscription, and there are so many games coming out that, you know, whether it's third party or first party, there's just going to be too many options. I mean, I looked at all the games releasing for next year that just were announced at the Game Awards, and I was like, all right, well, I don't have enough time off for next year. Maybe I should quit my job. No, I'm kidding. I don't get paid enough. So, like, I have to pay my mortgage.
and that car.
Yes, I do have to pay the rest of my car.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, look, I don't know. It's just I agree with you. I don't think they'll put console prices up.
Yeah.
They're already losing $200 a console. The parts for those consoles should start getting cheaper by now anyway, and they've never done it before, I don't think. So it would be silly. And look, it's just a gateway into gaming. We all know money's all off the software, so it would be a dick move to do. But hey, you never know. You just don't know.
I also
in this day and age what these companies are going to do.
I also
but I don't think so.
To put in our topics about the FTC suing Microsoft and sort of delaying the deal. Is that something you're happy to talk about, Ashtrey? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. Oh, well, go ahead and sue. They're not going to win.
No.
Their arguments are pathetic and weak. You just have to look at it. I was looking on Twitter this morning when I woke up, and they've made a huge mistake, which is really obvious. They said that they'd offer concessions for the what do you call it deal? The previous one. My mind's a blank right now.
COD deal? No.
No.
You mean Bethesda deal?
Bethesda, that's the word I'm trying to find. Yep, Bethesda. And apparently they didn't actually offer any concessions.
Yeah,
so
right through.
There's contradiction right there. And if they don't even know that themselves, who are supposed to be investigating these and looking at documents and emails and having all that source material, and they get that wrong and they put that out in the public, well then it shows incompetency, right? So if they can't get that right and they put that out in tweets and stuff, then they're clearly not competent enough to fight Microsoft lawyers in a court. So
and Brad Smith was like, if they want to do this, let's see them in court type thing. And I think that's the right attitude to have. I also think that this deal is going through, and there are a lot of people going, the sky is falling, just wait and see. I feel like, yes, they're taking that, they're doing that, they're suing in the sense to make it look like they're looking into it, okay, and slowing it down and taking a little bit to kind of scrutinize it. But I don't see this not happening. I know that people are trying to say, like, they're trying to, and who Bernie Sanders was saying something on Twitter, and I was like, oh my god, you really have no idea about the gaming industry. What you're saying is exactly what PlayStation has kind of been doing to the industry in general, especially with what they did to Sega. And now you're trying to say, like, this big nasty corporation is trying to monopolize the industry. It's like, no, they're really not trying to monopolize this industry. Yes, they have a massive lead in subscription and cloud gaming because they took the time and set it up over many years before some of the rest of the market were even thinking about this stuff, and they were playing the long game. Yeah, it's just interesting. I think, yes, it's going to happen, but also Bobby Kotick also wants to, like, and I can't stand this guy, but, like, reinforce his confidence that he thinks that this is going to close. And I think that's really important to the staff. It's not anti-competitive. This is not an anti-competitive deal. PlayStation is being anti-competitive. And as a result, we've seen what's happening with the CMA. We're seeing what's happening with the UE. Whatever, I can't remember the
EU.
EU's one, UE. EU's commission. And FTC is just doing what they need to do because this is a massive deal. I don't see this not closing. And Microsoft has a lot of things to say in regard to that, because some of PlayStation's points were, they're going to put console gaming prices. They're going to put console prices up. They're going to put gaming prices up. It's like, so they're doing everything that you've already done as the market leader. Is that what you're saying? Like they're going to do that?
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the tweets from the FTC are saying that Xbox is going to halt or stop competition by withholding content from its rivals.
One freaking game.
Well, but more importantly, kind of like what I said before, right? If they're not halting it, they're allowing it. Hey, there's a 10-year deal. You can have the game on your platform. We're also opening it up to Nintendo, which it isn't on. They're actually trying to add that in there. That's why they did it.
Yep.
That's why they announced it, so that they're saying, no, actually, we're willing to put it on
These are our cards.
Nintendo.
Have a look at them. Yeah, this is what we're planning on doing. Yeah.
So everything that comes out of the the Microsoft Xbox camp right now is all strategic moves, and that's why I believe that the price hike on the games is there for some reason. They're doing it for a particular reason, not sure yet why.
I mean, if they say no, you can't charge $70, great, because when COD comes out on Game Pass and on Xbox, it's $60, and it's still coming out at $70 on PlayStation. It's so funny.
Well, look, even if they offer it at $60 on PlayStation,
oh, that's true.
Whatever, it doesn't matter, right? But they're showing, and that's the thing. Microsoft had probably the best lawyers in the world. So they know what they're doing. They've gone through these acquisitions, not this big, obviously, but they've gone through many acquisitions over their time. They know what they're doing. They know how to play the game. I think they've wanted the FTC to sue them from the start because they know that they'll just steamroll them in court with facts. And that's why this Brad Smith guy is just so confident, because they know that they will win this, because they're fourth or whatever.
I also think
right?
the FTC also has face to save and go, yep, we're definitely looking into this because it's a big corporation, it's a lot of money, so we need to make sure we're doing right by public perception. And I think that is a big reason why we're seeing this happen. But I mean, oh my god, was it Tim Dog talking about they don't really have teeth for this? The FTC doesn't have the numbers that they thought they would have around trying to block the deal in the way that they want to block it. Yeah, we're getting them suing it, but I also am not. I think that Brad Smith is right in saying, like, welcoming the opportunity to present their case in court, and I think they have a fair case. I mean, there's so much history to go off. And Jim Cryan is just needing to get over himself. He cried to the CMA over there because he used to deal with the EU and PlayStation, like, side of that. That's what he used to run, and so he knows all those people.
Yeah, he does.
It's just very funny, and for those who keep kind of saying it still to this day that it's not a big deal that COD could. Like Microsoft is buying this ABK deal. It is a big deal. It's being looked at worldwide. We keep talking about it every week, and I'm really fucking sick of it talking about it, actually. I just want it to be done and dusted. It's already been approved in Brazil, Saudi Arabia. I think it's probably going to get approved through New Zealand. I haven't heard anything about that since that other one came through, of what they put to the New Zealand market. But yeah, I don't see it being an issue.
No. And look, I think the original timeline was that it'll be done mid next year. So there's plenty of time. Xbox knows how long these things take.
Yeah, they've given it.
They're playing. Yeah, they're playing the game correctly. They know what they're doing. They know what to say, when to say it. They've got all their ducks in a row. So they're extremely confident, and it shows that they are. But the fact that they're biting back is really, really good. You mentioned that Tim Dog said that they haven't been able to get the support to get this through easy as they thought. Yeah, he mentioned something about having a vote system, and there was only like two
to two, right?
2-2, yeah, and it wasn't a landslide like they were hoping. So all that stuff's happening on in the background. I don't really care about that stuff, to be honest with you. I agree as well. I want this sort of to be done. I'm pretty sure everyone's sick of even us podcasters talking about this stuff.
Yep.
But it needs to be discussed. It needs to be talked about, unfortunately. But look, my take from it is that they're finally fighting back, and they're saying things that to quash the BS that Sony and the FTC and the CMA are all pushing. because we know that it's true, and they come back with facts. So it's really good, and I reckon we should probably move on to the next topic.
I think you are correct. I think we should move on. Moving on. What is our next topic? You didn't watch this, so we're going to be talking about the Game of the Year 2022. You did not watch this, and why
Nope.
did you not watch this? Tell us why.
Could not give one F about it, to be honest with you. I followed a tiny bit of it on through Twitter, but it was on during work yesterday, and then by the time I got home from stuff, I was like too buggered to do anything. I played a little bit of Horizon Forbidden West and went to bed, so I didn't bother watching it. What I have seen on Twitter hasn't been overly positive for Xbox. Apparently, they didn't really show anything. Stray won, which is a farce. I don't believe that should have got anything. I think it was more of a letdown, and I'm actually glad I didn't waste my time.
It was like 4 hours
even
long,
watching it.
So yeah.
When I noticed, because I get notifications on YouTube when Xbox drop videos, and when I saw that they dropped 3 videos and they were of stuff that really didn't do much for me, I was like, so that's all they've shown? Ooh, wow. Yep. There was like a Hellblade game, which looked, pretty forgettable. And it's just like, well, if that's all they've got, nothing on Hellblade, I'm glad I didn't spend, 2 hours or 2.5 hours watching it?
Almost 4 hours.
What?
Yeah.
I thought they said they were cutting it short.
Well, okay, so it isn't quite 4 hours. It's like 3. I'm trying to remember how long the start sequence
is this in New Zealand time?
Yeah, 4 hours here. No, because they had the starting bit. Sorry, so it was about 2.5, maybe close to 3 hours. Then they had the 30-minute start beforehand, and then you had the official Game Awards starting there, and they had like games shown and that. Okay, this was probably, I enjoyed this year's Game Awards more than last year's Game Awards into how everything like panned out. The announcements, the awards themselves were just and we'll talk about that shortly, but like it just didn't have as much filler and fluff that it did as last year and the year before. Those ones are really hard to sit through and watch. I was disappointed with the fact that Xbox didn't really show anything there, and like it was real funny right at the very start when Jeff starts calling out people in the audience. He calls out Phil, and Phil does not look freaking impressed that he's getting called out by name around that. And he's sitting there next to Sarah Bond, who's like, yeah. But yeah, I feel like for me, I enjoyed it more than watching last year's one, because there just were a lot less ads and things that I didn't care about. And we'll talk about the announcements shortly around some of the games that they showed.
We got a fraud in the chat.
We do? Oh yeah, he said he's at work. Yeah. If work means on your OnlyFans pillow account, then yeah. Okay. But yeah, like let's talk about say hi Elite. Let's talk about some of those like awards, like best game direction. Like Elden Ring won that, and they were up against like God of War, Horizon Forbidden West, Immortality, and then Stray. And I was like, okay, the biggest thing for me is like, how did Stray get so many nominations? I don't understand that.
So they got a panel, right? There's I don't know what, roughly maybe 20 people on that panel. There's quite a few, the gaming journalists, and there's video game execs like Phil Spencer and stuff like that on there, or at least that's what they had last year. I don't know. Either they can see something we gamers can't, or they're out of touch with reality. And I haven't played Stray, but come on, Game of the Year.
I mean, to get into the Game of the Year nomination, I was like,
that's weird. That's weird.
But like, I think best game direction, Elden Ring really deserved to win that, and they also got Game of the Year, and I think they really deserved to win Game of the Year. They did such a brilliant job with the game. It's hard to play. Oh, it's challenging as hell, but like that game, the lore, and they even called out like J.R.R. Martin in there to go, thank you for doing the lore in this game.
And Bill Clinton.
Yeah, Bill Clinton, the last and best rabbi. But like best audio design, God of War Ragnarok. I don't. Okay, I don't necessarily.
Boy.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
I
Winner.
mean, they were up against like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Elden Ring, Gran Turismo 7, Horizon Forbidden West, and God of War Ragnarok. Okay. This just, I don't know. I wasn't. I mean, God of War took home a lot of awards last night. And if you watch the best, who was it? What was the one for the?
What
actor?
did it get? Best DLC?
No, it was the actor one. What was it? I can't think. It wasn't.
What? Best Actor Award?
No, it's the one like where they have the best. I fucking can't think of the word for it. And he spoke for like 1,000 years up on stage.
Yeah.
It was best performance, like by a obviously a person, and it was Christopher Judge as Kratos, and he was up there for like a good 5 minutes.
Oh, really?
Least,
I might watch
least.
that because I like Christopher Judge. He's awesome.
He was up there for ages, and they're playing
Was
the
he
music
rambling?
to tell him to get off, and this was the award that Al Pacino gave out? Because Al Pacino was up on stage, and that was like a shock moment. I was really surprised by that. That was probably the coolest thing about the Game Awards.
Did he say hoo-ha? Hoo-ha! No?
I can't remember. It kind of went by fast, but to be honest, you might like Christopher Judge. I like him from Stargate,
Yep.
and I skipped through so much of his speech because it just kept going. I'm like, this is such a long show, and he just kept going and kept going and kept going. It was entertaining, but what is it? Gran Turismo got best sports / racing game, and I was like, Gran Turismo, really? Yeah. Best narrative went to God of War Ragnarok, and I was like, I would have chosen a Plague Tale over that, 100%. For the actual narrative around that. And I do want to call out best adaptation from a game to a TV show or a movie was Arcane League of Legends. Have you seen that yet?
No.
You haven't? Oh, definitely worth a watch. So good.
Well, okay. I want to know who won Player's Choice.
Player's Choice. Where are we?
Yeah, because that was an interesting one. I saw on Twitter. Wasn't Sonic Frontiers leading at one point
Oh, why is this not coming
for
up?
Player's Choice Award? Someone in the chat probably knows.
Yeah, I'm just going through the list here. I watched it all, but I usually only take notes, and I haven't taken notes because it was long, and I was just like, there was most anticipated game, and obviously Zelda. What was it? Best simulators, esports racing game, games for Impact. Dusk Falls got games for Impact. Did you end up playing that?
It says Genshin Impact wins Player's Choice Award, TGA 2022.
There you go. Why was my control fine not working on that? Best art direction went to Elden Ring.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I didn't like the game, but I really liked the art style.
Oh, it was gorgeous. And people are like, it should have gone to, people complaining Horizon Forbidden West didn't get it, or God of War Ragnarok didn't get it. And it's like, no, those are graphically, aesthetically pleasing titles, but the actual art direction, Elden Ring had it hands down. I was really, really impressed with the art direction in that game. It was just absolutely gorgeous, and it was just worth it. And I'm just so happy.
I'm playing the Horizon Forbidden West on the PS4, so the pleb version, and obviously it's going to look better on a PS5, but it looks almost identical to Zero Dawn. So it's a nice looking game, but I just think Elden Ring visually different art style, but definitely looks cleaner, nicer. I really quite like that. Yeah, look of it.
Kirby got an award, Kirby and the Forgotten Land got an award for best family game. And it's kind of nice that happened because it's been 30 years since Kirby came out, so it's nice to kind of that recognition after 30 years to get an award.
30 years at least, probably longer than that.
Doug Bowser was up on collecting the award for this, and he mentioned it would have been 30 years, and I was like, oh, damn. But what was your game of the year for yourself? What's the game that's been the highlight of your year, Ashtrey? because I still don't agree that Stray should have ended up in that final list of nominations. I mean, this year was a little bit lean.
Yeah, look, I don't know. I'm kind of meh about it all. It sounds bad, but I don't know. I don't really have one, to be honest with you.
You don't? You and Tiny King's
Nah.
not your game of the year?
That was really good, but game of the year, and I mean, I'm enjoying those indie games. It's
I'm
a bit of
loving the indie games.
but no, I've kind of been a bit down on gaming for a while this year. This year's been shit. Let's be honest. We all know it has been, but I've been feeling it a lot. That's why I've been playing so much of that damn Fortnite game. But I needed a bit of a break from that as well. So I don't know. I just need some open world action adventure games, more of them to suit my appetite. But yeah, I don't know. I can't really say. What about yourself?
I actually
Your game of the year.
I was trying to think about this yesterday, and I couldn't really come up with a game that really stood out above the rest. I have a whole heap of games that I've really enjoyed, like Tinykin, Tunic. A lot of my games that I've really enjoyed this year have been indies. Even like a Plague Tale Requiem, I've been really thoroughly enjoying that. But there's nothing really that stood out for me, even on the PC side of things. For me, because there's a lot of games that I choose not to play because they're just not really my cup of tea. But yeah, I don't know. I don't even myself don't even have a game of the year. I think next year's going to be a different story.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but yeah. In saying that, talking about games, I am just so sad that we did not see Hellblade 2 at the Game of the Year awards.
That's ridiculous. They should have kept that up, right?
They should have kept it up. They showed it, what, it was last year or the year before? They showed it in 2019. I was like, I really wanted to see it because you just know that game is coming close to finishing off, and I think they're saving that for the big Xbox showcase mid-year next year. That's what I have a feeling that they're saving that for there.
Well, interesting you say that, probably. But what's his name? Aaron Greenberg put a tweet out yesterday saying that they're going to show some stuff, and he says very soon. Like,
maybe
we don't have. We're not going to have to wait.
Maybe
so
they didn't want to do it with Keeley's awards. Maybe they want to make it an important thing for them.
Don't know, yeah, but what I mean, we're 2 weeks away from Christmas. So, I mean, how soon is he going to do it?
Who knows?
And what are they really going to show that they couldn't have shown at the awards? I mean, you're better off showing, and I think a lot of people will agree with this. You're better off showing them at the Game Awards because although it's not an Xbox show, there's like millions of people,
Nintendo, PlayStation,
that watch it.
PC, Xbox fans, all watching that show.
You want to captivate the PlayStation audience too, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's why they showed
them a
Hellblade
reason
and launched the Series X on it.
Yeah, give them a reason to buy an Xbox or subscribe to Game Pass. Yeah,
it is weird that they didn't have at least one big thing to show. Interesting. How about we flip the question around the other way and say, what's a game you played this year that you hated? Because I've got Saints Row. That game was shit.
Oh, I'm trying to think about what games. I just
shout out to the blue one, by the way.
I just uninstall them and then I don't give them a second thought. Okay. A game I absolutely hated. Bugsnax. That was fucking awful. Oh my god. And for all those PlayStation gamers that came out and were like, yeah, like you had nothing to play and you were playing Bugsnax, and I don't know how you got through it. That game is rubbish. Oh my god, that game is trash.
There you go.
That would be my disappointment of the year.
What do you reckon Elite's favourite game of the year would be?
His favourite game of the year? I'm just going to go with Conan because it's his favourite game every year.
Of every year.
He probably liked. I don't know. I think it was The Last of Us Part 2 remake. I think that was his favourite game of the year. Yeah, definitely. He has not had anything but nice things to say about that game all year since it was announced. And yeah, you definitely know he's getting a PlayStation to play that game non-stop.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. He doesn't even have a Series X. He's only got an S, doesn't he? Not that's not a bad thing, but come on.
I think the echo fuck you is because of Ashtrey, for some reason, he's got this weird audio thing happening. Like when I mute him, I don't hear my echo. Like when he's unmuted, I hear an echo.
I have no idea. When I check my audio before I jump on, it sounds perfect.
It sounds fine, yeah. I don't know. It was doing it, I think, last week, and every so often, like when I would.
Is my volume too loud? Maybe,
because there's something coming through and there's an echo. But in saying announcements, Hades 2 was announced actually at the Game Awards. And I really like the art style of that. I'm not big into that type of game, but that was cool that was there. Also, Vampire Survivors, you can play it on your phones. It's coming to iOS and iOS and oh my god, where's my brain at? And Android. That was cool. Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon. That From Software and Bandai Namco announced there as well, and that's coming out in 2023. That was looking freaking cool. I've never played any of the Armored Core games. Has anyone played that? Peppa Pig is his game of the year. Ooh, yeah, probably right. Xbox didn't show to make a point. I wouldn't be surprised if next year it's not at MS Stadium. Yeah.
I don't know about that. I mean, Xbox would charge good amount of money to have it hosted there, so you don't say no to money, right?
I was actually pleasantly surprised. Yeah, that's true. Judas, the reveal trailer for Judas, which is the guys behind BioShock. They've got a new game coming out, and that was revealed at the Game Awards, and that actually looked quite interesting. And so I actually thought that there were quite a few games that looked interesting. Death Stranding 2 got a reveal trailer, and Hideo Kojima was on stage. Hideo, oh my god, thank you for oh my god, where's my brain at? Hideo Kojima was up there talking about it. I was surprised that this got a sequel.
I think most people are.
And
I think most people are.
That's all I'm going to say about it. That's all
Yeah,
I'm going to say about that game.
I know Dealer's going to play it for sure.
Yeah. Idris Elba showed up he's in the new DLC for Cyberpunk 2077.
Won't that game just die? Come on.
Hey, it has done so well since they've improved everything in it, and since the since that Netflix show came up, released, and it's breathed life back into Cyberpunk. I feel like they're really, really, really doing their best to kind of fix what they broke, and they broke so much in relation to the amount of consumer goodwill that they had. And I think part of that is going through and we're getting a new Witcher remake of the first game, thank goodness, for
free.
Yeah. No, we'll be paying for that.
You know what? I might go back and play Cyberpunk.
Do it now.
No. In a couple of years.
In a couple of years? Oh, when they announce the next Cyberpunk game?
Yep. Then I'll play this first one, because then I'll know it's 100% fixed and everything. Because after that patch, which I think was 3, 4, 5 months ago, I can't remember. Either way, you basically had to re-download the whole game again. I did that, played it. And I'm telling you, I was still driving around in this bustling city, and there was 2 pedestrians.
Are you sure you weren't just playing it on a PlayStation? Sorry, that's savage.
I'd remember that.
Yeah, no, I really like Cyberpunk. I was one of the people who thoroughly enjoyed the game, and I put it down waiting for the next gen patch, the proper next gen, taking advantage of it, and I put it down to fix while they fixed it, and I haven't really picked it up again since, because I know that they were still patching it, and I do really want to pick it up and maybe play this DLC. I really enjoyed that. But one of the massive things in the show was the Star Wars Jedi Survivor trailer, and that actually confirmed a release date, so it's coming out March 17th next year. That looked legit so freaking good. You can definitely tell that. I think, is it only coming out on next gen consoles? Hopefully it's only coming out on next gen consoles. But
I would say so.
It just looked so good.
Point.
The first game looked really cool, but this game just seems to. I don't even know what engine they're using. I should probably have a nose at what engine they're using, but it looked so good. And then the lead actor for this, he came out on stage and just said it's really nice that they've been working on this and so on and so forth. Cyberpunk is underrated. GOTY. Yeah. Hello. Glad
They're
you could
using
join us.
Unreal Engine 5.
Oh, they are. It looked like they were, and it looked really impressive. So that makes sense why that game looks so freaking good. As long as they've got to focus on a 60 FPS mode for console, I think that's the biggest thing. Diablo 4 is arriving next year, June 6th, and they had a cinematic trailer. I'm just like, give me Diablo 4 right this frickin' second. I love Diablo so much, and I just really, really want the next Diablo game here and frickin' now.
Well, it's around the corner. Won't take too much longer, for sure. Oh well. Anything else worth noting besides
All
the
the
fact that it
VR
went
games
for
coming
50
out.
hours?
Yeah, all the VR games. The people behind Celeste has a new game coming out as well. There was a Hellboy game shown. This actually looked quite interesting. Crime Boss Rocket City actually looked quite interesting. It's got a multitude of well-known actors in it, and it just looked like it'd be something that I want to play and give it a go. Like Chuck Norris is in it. I was like, all right, Vanilla Ice.
Interesting.
Danny Glover, Kim Basinger. There's a whole heap of people in that one. I was like, oh yeah, I'll give it a go, give it a giz.
Okay.
Yeah, they showed off a new Lords of Fallen gameplay reveal trailer for that. I didn't really like the other Lords of Fallen game. Are they redoing it, or is this a brand new title? Did you ever play the other one?
No.
You didn't?
No.
They announced a whole heap of PlayStation games coming to PC, like The Last of Us Part 1 is coming to PC. Makes you understand why they did a remake, right? Because they wanted it to be nice and pretty for their PlayStation gamers so that they didn't complain and go over to the PC to play it. But PC gets a nice updated graphical suite for this game. So that's coming to PC. Returnal is coming to PC as well. Like, there are so many games coming to PC, and you're like, what? So you guys have no exclusives anymore?
No, they don't. But I still don't think Returnal is going to do too well over on PC because it's been out for a while. It's going to have that same sort of issue
What
that
happened with Miles Morales?
Yeah, how it sort of just fizzles out because it's not new.
Yeah.
And if I mean, a lot of gamers do tend to like to play things when they're first out. So if it's been out a year, 2 years now, I don't know, it's been out for a while. It's not going to do well in sales on PC, Miles Morales. Yeah, and Miles Morales is a much bigger IP than Returnal.
Yeah.
So
you're right.
I don't think it's going to do too good.
There were lots of games that piqued my interest. The Transformers game, that Banishes game, looked quite cool. As well, just from what we could tell from, I guess, the reveal trailer for it. There is a Remnant 2 coming out next year. Have you played Remnant?
Don't think so. Do you like it? What have you played?
Oh, yeah. Ashtrey, what are you talking about?
What are you doing, man?
Replaced is one indie game that I'm so looking forward to. We saw it a couple of years ago on Xbox's stage, and it was one that Phil said he's really looking forward to it. And this was one of the highlights for me, was another reveal of this game. I'm so excited for this game. It looks so neat. The graphic style, the art style, and the gameplay looks like it's going to be quite interesting as well. But it's just a game I'm really excited to play, and I just really want to play it. And I've been waiting for it, but we're gonna be taking some time on it. But to the chat, guys, what was your favorite reveal? There was like even a Dune game revealed, but yeah, what was your favorite reveal or favorite reveals from the Game Awards? Because there was a lot of games revealed. I couldn't believe how many games were revealed. There's a new mode in Among Us, a hide and seek mode, where you actually have to hide from the imposter, like who looks like it's an alien type. It actually reminds me of oh my god, what's his name? The opposite of Spider-Man, who's the Venom. He's got that Venom face type thing with the way the tongue is sticking out of the mouth, and like that looks quite fun. And I think we're going to play that for some type of community game night, no doubt. Hide and seek. Definitely want to play that. Yep. Yeah.
Sounds good. Well, Pete's standouts were Diablo 4, Jedi Survivor, and Remnant 2. Infinite Hades 2, and Judas.
Yep. Armored Core was dope too. Yes, I agree. I agree. That did look dope. Yeah. Carnage. Yes. Yep. Carnage. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I was like, I can't remember the names. Or Carnage or Venom. Whatever that is. Yeah, there were a whole heap of things. There was so much shown, I found. Like, it was a little bit overwhelming trying to remember all the stuff. But there were quite a few things of games releasing on Game Pass as well, day and day. Like, Replaced is coming to Game Pass day one. And I'm like, yes, can't freaking wait.
Gotta love that Game Pass.
Yeah. I guess for me, the biggest disappointment about the whole show was there was nothing from Xbox, really. Nothing. No reveals. And that's the hardest thing. Like, I said I wanted Hellblade 2. I would have just been happy with anything at this point. Anything they could have shown, it would have just been a little bit better. I mean, we've had a quiet year on the game front. I mean, PlayStation's been pretty quiet on the reveals for the last 2 years, but they did show up here and they showed quite a lot of games. They showed, like, Horizon Forbidden West's, or Horizon Forbidden Kingdom VR. They showed the new DLC coming. There was the trailer for Final Fantasy 16, which we know, whatever, I think we'll have some sort of exclusive deal on PlayStation sides, probably with content or something. You know what they're like. But yeah, they showed up more on that side of it. Like, even Space Marines showed up at the show. There was a lot. You should go have a look at all the reveals. There was a lot.
Yes, someone like IGN or whatever has probably done like a
list.
Yeah, a list, or a 15-minute version of it or 20-minute version of it. So I'll just check that out at some point.
Bam. Yep.
But look, yeah, I've been busy and stuff anyway. So, some people, which I have to laugh, some people are saying, Xbox didn't show anything because they want to look weak for the FTC and the CMA.
Well, that was PlayStation not saying anything because they wanted to look weak for the CMA. Like, where's this argument coming from, guys?
It's cope. That's what it is. It's cope. Because, again, the FTC and the CMA will know a lot more stuff than we do about what's coming and when those games are coming, etc. Because they'll have all those documents. Yeah, they might be, they might be incompetent, but they've got that information there. They got access to emails and stuff that we don't have. There's a lot more information that they know about upcoming acquisitions as well than what we do. So maybe it's to look weak to the public that don't follow it closely, potentially, but I still don't think that's a legitimate sort of reason or argument. Yeah,
I don't think that it has anything to do with what's happening with the FTC, CMA,
I don't think so
and
either.
EU Commission. I think it's got nothing to do with that. I think that a lot of their games have been delayed and pushed out to next year, and I feel like we know what games are coming, and I think that they're going to have another show that's just dedicated to them, because they do have a lot of games there, and I don't think they want to overshadow anything, but I also think, like, you need to, like, this is such a big event, you need to kind of make sure Xbox presence is there more than just Ninja talking about this app coming to the Samsung TVs, more than just Game Pass trailers, because Xbox is more than just that.
Well, that's why it doesn't make much sense to not even show just one thing. It's an opportunity missed just to even show just one thing, even if it was Hellblade 2 again and it was different footage.
And then
that would have been something.
We could have the conversation about, this isn't gameplay chat all over Twitter. That would be amazing again. That would have just made my day.
Exactly, right? And it would get people talking about something at least.
Even if it was just Forza Motorsports.
What do you think the decision behind not showing anything? Do you think it was a directive from Phil and up, or do you think maybe Aaron Greenberg and team have dropped the ball?
I think probably purposeful. I think that maybe they don't. I also think it's like maybe they're being very deliberate around not showing certain things. I still feel like public perception is they've dropped the ball, and that's how everyone's walking away with it, and that's not that conversation that you want to be happening after a night like this. I mean, they weren't really there anyway in regard to any awards, like and they weren't there last year as well, but like, just go up and show, because like when you've gone up and shown the last few years of those games, and PlayStation hadn't really had a lot of announcements at the Game Awards, and you kind of definitely overshadowed them with Hellblade. Like, that game is probably one of my most anticipated games to come out on Xbox's side that's actually been announced and we've seen stuff on. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to speculate because we have no idea what's happening, and it just seems like there's so much back and forth around that deal. I don't think the deal has any impact on why they chose not to show it, but maybe they're just holding their cards close to their chest. And I think I get why you're doing that, but I also think you shouldn't be doing that. Gamers are hungry for games because you didn't have a lot of first party this year, and so they want to know what's coming. We know what's coming the first half of next year, but we also just want to kind of be excited for what's more than coming in the first half of next year. And we want to look to the future and see maybe what's coming in the second half of next year. And I know they're going to be doing a show for that, but I still feel like public perception is gamers who bought your console to play games on your platform are hungry, and nothing is ever good enough, and you can't keep them satiated ever. So just kind of just acknowledge that and just give them something, anything.
Exactly. Chat, what do you guys think? Do you think it was a directive not to show anything, or do you think maybe marketing fumbled it? I'd like to know what you guys think in the chat there.
Grey Monad goes, what's Xbox? I think they're talking about Christopher Judge still being on the show stage. Yep, he did talk.
He's still up there talking.
He's still up there talking now. Yep. I'm like, you need to go and watch how long he talked for.
Boy.
Yeah, he talked for a very long time.
How long do you reckon it was?
At least 5 minutes.
At least 5? Okay.
Well, I'd say at least 5
Was
minutes.
Was it coherent at least?
I skipped through most of it. It started coherent to begin with, and I was like, bam, 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 bam. And he was still talking. I'm like, I'm still skipping. And I was skipping like 30, 40 seconds at a time.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna probably sit through and watch it all.
Yeah.
And then I'll have a take
Infinite
on it.
Umber goes, whatever the reason was, it was a poor decision not to show anything at all. Yeah, I agree.
Agreed. 100% agreed. Yep.
Yeah, and even Pete's like, yeah, whilst they're Panda, they could have drummed up interest for the holiday period, but they dropped the ball. It was 10 minutes and 50 seconds. Oh, it's 10 minutes. 7 minutes. I can't read. 7 minutes and 50 seconds.
Do 10s look like 7s over there?
Oh, they do, apparently. No, it's because my brain was still thinking about what I was going to say, and then I saw him pop that into the chat. Yeah.
7 minutes 50.
Fuck. Damn. It was over.
It was over. Oh, it was over 8 minutes.
He teared up like 3 times. It was forever long. Yeah. You need to watch it. You really do. I couldn't sit through it. It was cringe as fuck to how long it went on. They played the music. You just kept talking through the music, and you could be like, honestly, Kelly was like, get him off. Like, I'm so glad that he could start talking and continuing the show moving on.
He's an actor, right? He's been doing TV shows and stuff for quite some time. He's probably never really had the chance, and he's probably like, fuck it, I know I'm going to be on stage.
For the last one, because he got the performance award in 2018.
I don't think it was long, because he went up with the kid as well.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So I don't think he said too much.
Yeah.
From memory, not 8 minutes worth.
He went up with the boy. You mean?
Boy.
Yeah. All right, but I guess the highlight of the show for me was the guy who came at and we've mentioned it more than once, at the end of the show, right as the developers behind Elden Ring had got their award, had finished talking, and just started talking about the first and last best rabbi, Bill Clinton, and then I thought that was so funny.
I've seen some bits of that on Twitter, so I'll have to find that video as well and just check that out.
Yeah.
Infinite says he was hamming it up heavily, so he must have been maybe he's drunk or something.
Pete said they played him off 3 times and he just kept talking.
3 times, shit. Oh, that's funny.
And he's talking.
Oh well.
What he just rambled. Yeah. I mean, if it was, I don't think he would have got that award if he was up against what's her name from Hellblade? Because she just freaking takes it to another level.
Melina,
yes, she's amazing. Melina even got a BAFTA for her portrayal of Senua. So, like,
Yeah, I mean, look, in saying that, we're going to start seeing, once the Xbox games drop, I'm sick of saying that as well.
I'm sick of it
we
too.
we will start to see a lot more
Awards.
awards for Xbox,
Yep.
a lot more speak around it, and a lot more hype and that. So it'll happen next year.
All
Is
Xbox
the
needs to
year.
do is buy CD Projekt Red, and then they've got a Game of the Year contender right there. With The Witcher 3 from 2015. That one Game of the Year, right? They can say it's theirs? No, I'm kidding. Sorry, just reminiscence of Colin Moriarty's conversation last week.
Oh, that guy's a fucking numpty.
Yeah. All right.
But we just real quick, we know that there's some other deal acquisition that was already in the works before the Bethesda not Bethesda, before the ABK deal came along. So it'll be interesting to see as soon as this ABK stuff is done, how long till they announce whatever that was. And that's fairly big too. So anyway, it's going to be interesting times. Very interesting times. So we've only got a couple of shows left this year.
Yep.
So we're the 10th, so 17th. Definitely, I don't know if we're going to do one Christmas Eve.
No, I will not
Probably
be
not.
here. I will not
No.
be. I think I can do next week, and that's the last one that I can
I
do.
think that's, I reckon next week will be the last.
And then
Cause,
I'm not back till probably the 16th.
yeah, I'm back on the 16th as well.
So we won't be doing
probably
a show
won't.
till late January. Yeah, first.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll be off
Probably
for a
not.
good month. Yeah.
If Elite wants to jump in and do a show while I'm on holidays and I've got the time, I'll probably do it. But yeah.
I mean, I might do it. Who knows? It's really just going to be about me playing games.
Well, exactly.
What did
right?
Phil say when Jeff went to him? I don't know. He said something like, no, I don't know. I couldn't read his lips. But he did not, he was like, no, I don't know. He just seemed like he was surprised and he wasn't really wanting the attention monad. Yeah. So yeah.
It was good to see Xbox executives there though, huh?
It was good. And Sarah Bond next to Phil, you know, that just keeps screaming that she's going to be taking over from him, eh?
Oh, okay. Yeah, potentially.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Anyway, probably time we head out, yeah.
Was it I don't want to be here? Probably correct. He didn't want to be there. Probably because he had nothing to show. But yeah, we're going to head out, guys. It's been another awesome show. Even better because, you know, our guest every week that joins us wasn't here. And yeah, apparently he's working.
Working on finishing those beers.
Yeah, exactly. He's at work. But yeah, it's been an awesome show as usual with you, Ashtrey. Had a great time. What are you going to be doing after the show? And yeah.
Boring stuff. I've got to clean the house. Kids have made an absolute mess of this joint, and I haven't had a chance to clean it at all this week. So I'll be doing that, and then I'll sit down and play a little bit more Horizon Forbidden West. I just want to get through that game and finish it. Because I actually ended up buying the special edition.
So you get
it came in a
DLC
box,
as well,
and
or?
I don't know if it does actually. I can't remember. But it came in a box with a steel case and all this sort of stuff. So I did get that. So I want to finish it because I paid for it, and then just get that off my plate and then come back to Xbox. But I've got a dinner this afternoon. Not that anyone cares. Take the kids out to a picnic. And then I definitely plan on having some alcohol this afternoon. So I don't know how coherent I'll be.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's the plan. Yourself?
I also have housework to do, so I'm going to do that. And I'll pop on Xbox Infinite's podcast while I'm doing that. So, you know, and every so often I might pop in just to kind of risk it because he deserves it. He's such a fraud.
Remind him.
He's so mid. Risk it is. He's so mid.
And he knows it too, right?
He fucking knows it. He does.
I reckon it's really Jedi's show.
Yeah, it really is. It's an Infinite, an Umbra show. It really
actually,
is.
it's really their show.
Yeah, it's their show. Yeah, and yeah.
And the others are just guests.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah,
very similar to our show in that respect.
Exactly. I think I will jump on Xbox sometime later today.
Don't break it.
Yeah. I'm gonna jump on my Xbox. I've still got my Series S, so maybe I'll just jump on the S and keep my X intact. And yeah, I'm gonna jump on there, maybe play some more Witcher, or if anyone's up for some Halo. Or even just maybe put on some Vampire Survivors and actually try and get the last of my achievements there. But that takes ages because you have to do like 30-minute runs to get every achievement. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh, well, no, you don't. You don't actually. Some of them you only have to get to level 50 to get the achievement.
Oh,
So
yeah,
just
but
go
there's
through
the one where it's like survive to like the
Level
31-minute
100.
mark or survive 30
Yeah.
minutes with them, and those are the ones that I've got left. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because I've got like a whole heap of all the other achievements done. I'm like at 122 achievements maybe even more, out of like 140. And then there's DLC
Damn.
coming. There's DLC coming.
When is that coming?
I don't know.
Do you
but
know?
I really want it to hurry up because I really like Vampire Survivors.
I don't think it's going to be far away, actually.
Yeah.
It's and it's going to be cheap. It's only a few bucks. So
Jim
that's
was a
all right.
no-show because he was partying with the FTC. Yeah. Yeah, he was finishing lubing them up. Anyway, great show as usual, guys. We'll see you next week. And it's just mine and Ashtrey's show apparently. And have a great weekend for everybody, and we'll see you online. Enjoy.
Have a good one, guys. Bye.
Bye.